Here's your weather video for this Sunday, August the 18th. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, and it was I guess it was actually this date as I'm recording this, August 17th, recording it just before 11 p.m., and really about this exact time that the Mississippi coast was under assault by what would be the second Category 5 hurricane ever to hit the United States. I mistakenly said last night there had been three. There had been four, of course. Andrew in 92, Michael, and back to the 1935 Labor Day hurricane. But the Weather Service in Mobile earlier on Saturday put this tweet up with this fabulous recreation of the WSR 57 radar, a reconstructed radar loop from Hurricane Camille from the Weather Service in, I guess that was the Boothville radar back then. And you can see how far we've come in 55 years. And certainly what a terrible, horrific storm Camille was as it made landfall. Of course, killing a lot of people on the Mississippi coast and a lot of people in Virginia a few days later. But that was my first hurricane back 55 years ago yesterday. As a matter of fact, I can remember this date, August 18th, very clearly because we had storms in Birmingham indirectly related to the hurricane, or I guess probably directly related to the hurricane as it moved up through central Mississippi. And I remember that day very, very clearly. Here's our hurricane from yesterday, which we still have tonight. It made landfall in Bermuda there around 4:30 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, and then promptly slowed down and spent a lot of the day buffeting the island with tropical storm force gusts. And let's see, I don't know if, let's go back and check some of those readings. As I record this, winds are still gusting to 43 miles an hour, even just before midnight. They even had some tropical storm sustained winds as late as 6 p.m. Tonight Atlantic time. But you can see the system is becoming more diffuse. It has good outflow. It certainly encountered slightly better conditions to the north of the island there. But it's just got dry air, and it's running into cooler waters, and it'll eventually play itself out. This is the upper pattern across North America, showing Ernesto just off to the east there. Got a trough over the Great Lakes. That area of lower pressures is sort of bookended by another even deeper low-pressure system off the west coast of the United States. And in the middle, we've got a 597 decameter high up at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, centered there over the Oklahoma Panhandle. As we go through time, let's see, and really I'm going to take this back, one run here just to kind of show you what's going on. The trough deepens over the eastern United States. We stay in a northwesterly flow here Monday and Tuesday. The high over the New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma Panhandles region remains in place. It kind of thins out, gets elongated. Looks like we got an upper low that breaks off the southern end of the eastern trough, and it kind of moves across the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have to watch that. This is a very favored area and a very favored mechanism for tropical development. Now, will that play out? Probably not. But we'll watch that system as it moves toward the Texas coast, and that system becomes isolated and stranded under the ridge, which develops all around it. That west coast system stays there and finally moves on shore by next weekend, becoming a progressive trough. The ridge then centers itself over Mississippi and Alabama by next Sunday and Monday. And you know what that means? That means things are going to be heating up as we go into the week 2 period. Now, here comes a trough by the end of the period. That's getting into the Labor Day weekend. And that system could bring some active weather to Alabama. Now, of course, we had active weather across the state yesterday. Severe thunderstorm watch had to be issued. We had fairly widespread strong to severe thunderstorms, had numerous reports of wind damage, mostly tree related. And it was kind of an active day for sure, with bunches and bunches of warnings. This is the HRRR for today. We expect more showers and storms to develop as a cold front, which is now moving into the Tennessee Valley, moves through the state today. You see, the HRRR is developing the activity there kind of southeast of Birmingham by 4 or 5 o'clock. The activity, really gets going after sunset tomorrow night. And this is kind of a, then it really gets active over South Alabama. Now, is that going to be how it plays out? Not poured in concrete for sure. Watching that northwesterly flow, but it looks like the activity that develops there over Missouri and Arkansas is shunted through Mississippi. It looks like Monday we're dry, and that's what we anticipated. But now the 3-kilometer NAM kind of paints a little different story. This is the 0Z run from Saturday night. It shows showers and thunderstorms developing again about 5 o'clock. That makes sense. South of Birmingham, generally moving into the I-85 corridor. Looking like a strong thunderstorm possibly around the Montgomery area around 7 p.m. And maybe some more development there over southern Shelby, Chilton counties toward 9 o'clock as the front moves in. But again, the 3-kilometer NAM, one of our convection allowing models, keeps us dry on Monday, and that's again kind of what we expect. Now, it's going to be hot and humid today. Heat advisories in effect southwestern Alabama, that's some Mobile area. Wouldn't doubt that we'll see some heat advisories across south central Alabama. This is at 4 o'clock today. Just kind of looking around, we're approaching 104 for those heat index values across this area from southern Shelby back through Bibb into Pickens, Hale, Sumter, Greene counties. So I think we'll probably need those heat advisories again today. These are what high temperatures are going to look like today on Sunday. Generally 91 in northeast Alabama, 90 up there around Coleman, 94 to 97 across central Alabama. Montgomery may get close to 100. And then tomorrow things are going to be a lot better. We won't get out of the 80s in many locations across central Alabama, at least the northern half of the state. South Alabama, of course, still rises into the lower 90s. And then Tuesday, we're even a degree or two cooler. Look here on Wednesday morning, though. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? How about temperatures in the 50s? 57 at Coleman, 62 at Birmingham, 59 over at Pell City and Anniston, Talladega. Wow, we'd take that, wouldn't we? That'd be super. Hope that happens. These are what the dew points are going to look like, and we'll have to remind ourselves that this is almost mid to the end of August. Let's go day by day on the GFS, showing the 18Z run from yesterday, since it's the full run that we have at this point, showing a few showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon over the southern half of Alabama. Severe weather is again possible. Conditions are going to be there. Decent instability, a little bit of bulk shear, and certainly the conditions will be in place for downbursts. Microbursts very possible. 60 mile per hour damaging wind gusts. Could see another severe thunderstorm watch. Generally areas I-85 corridor and south. That's where we expect the SPC will set up the slight risk. Areas from really Fayette to Birmingham, really over to Anniston. Areas south of that, probably a marginal risk. That's 1 out of 5 on the scale. Areas from Tuscaloosa to Clanton to Alex City and Point South, probably going to be in the slight risk. As we move forward, we go through Sunday night. We're mainly dry. Now we're into Monday. This is Monday afternoon. It's going to be cooler, as we saw, high temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. We get through the day without any precipitation at all. We're into Tuesday now. It's more of the same. Going to be dry. You begin to detect a trend here. Now we're moving into Wednesday. Wednesday night, dry. Thursday, ridging coming in from the northeast. That's not going to help us get any precipitation going. We thought we might see a shower or thunderstorm by Thursday afternoon, but that doesn't look so likely now. We're into Friday. Looks like showers and thunderstorms are able to develop over the southern half of the area. That's where they'll be most likely. We get into Saturday, maybe an isolated shower or storm over the entire state. And then as we get into Sunday, again, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Turning the page now to the following week. This is week 2, Monday the 26th. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. They look a little more prevalent that Monday night. That trough begins to get its act together. Our moisture levels have increased. The ridge has moved away from Alabama. The Azores Bermuda High sort of sets back up again, and we get the moisture pump coming into Alabama by midweek. Again, now we're getting the front coming from the north. We're getting the high moisture levels coming in from the south, and it looks like showers and thunderstorms will become more of a likelihood as we get into that Thursday and Friday. But it looks like the front might be south of really I-85 by that Saturday, the 31st, Sunday the 1st. Now we're into Labor Day. First peek there says, hey, this might be a pretty typical Labor Day forecast. Let's look at, let's grab some temperatures, or at least temperature anomalies. Looks like it'll be a little cooler than normal for Labor Day. Well, that'll, but no, that's not true. I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself here. Go to the 18Z run, go out to the end, and look there, and it looks fairly warm. What would the dew points be at that point? Fairly typical Labor Day weather for Alabama. Now, here's a nesto. Weakening to a tropical storm later today. We do expect that it, going to stay in that 65 to 70 mile per hour range. Well, these are not, so I can't say that after all. Still a minimal hurricane. Through the day today, minimal hurricane tonight, perhaps a little strengthening back to a 70, probably 80 mile per hour hurricane. But as we get into Monday, it is passing off of Nova Scotia, passing south of Sable Island, and not bringing any big impacts there. But it begins to affect Newfoundland. The center passing near the Cape Race area, Avalon Peninsula, Monday night, but most of the winds, of course, on the eastern side of the system, and that's where most of the impacts will be. But as we go on out through the period, we don't see anything through that, through the end of this week for sure. And as we get into the week 2 period, the GFS doesn't really see anything that it expects might become a tropical cyclone all the way to Labor Day. And so, interesting. We'll see if that happens. Doesn't look like anything develops in the Gulf of Mexico. That'd be good news. But we may not see quite the elevated numbers that we thought. Still plenty of time. But to lose this 2-week period here, or really 10-day period, since Ernesto's got to move on out, without any new big hurricane development would be a major plus. This is National Blend of Models showing temperatures over the next several days. We've got one more day in the 90s until the 25th. That's next Sunday when temperatures should begin to rise again as that upper high pressure system begins to build over Alabama and the deep south. How about 92 Sunday, 94 on Monday, and it looks like we'll kind of stay there. Increasingly gets better the next few nights. We'll be 69 tomorrow morning, 66 Tuesday morning. How about circling on the old graph here, 61 for Wednesday morning, and not too unpleasant. Kind of September-ish, just a tiny bit, a little wishful thinking, but all the way Thursday into the weekend before we get back into those lower 70s. Now, by next weekend, wouldn't expect much in the way of rainfall. We might be lucky to get a quarter of an inch, and as we get out toward the end of the period, things do look a little better. The deterministic run of the GFS here showing that most everybody's going to probably get 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. Some parts of south central Alabama might not be as lucky, but it looks like things might be just improving a little bit. Weather Brains Weekly Netcast. It's all about weather. We had a great time this week. I forget what we talked about. It's late. We will be talking to our friend Alan Seals, though, on the show, which we record Monday night, tomorrow night. And we'll be talking about the contributions of African-American meteorologists and some of the big shoulders that meteorologists have stood on to get where they are today. Some amazing history with our good friend Alan Seals. Well, that's your weather video for this Sunday the 18th. I have notes on the blog, complete update on the forecast coming up at noon, along with an Alabama weather summary for you. We'll give you an occasional look at Ernesto. Of course, we'll be watching the severe weather all through the afternoon, giving you updates from a mesoscale standpoint, also those warnings as they come out. And James will be back for 2 days tomorrow. As always, Scott should be back next Saturday. I'll see you next Sunday. And until I get that chance, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky because you'll always have something fun to look at.